I'm gonna open this up. Oh my goodness.
Oh, packaging.
Caution, this box contains dry ice. Do not touch with
Bare hands? What?
beef bone broth. Gorgeous. Ooh, beef bone broths. Beef bone broths.
Okay, I got frozen chicken bone broth. I got 2 chickens. They really like the chicken.
Hearth bone broth.
Made from roasted 100% grass-fed beef, chicken, and turkey.
Not one. We have 2 hearth bone broths.
Look at this.
Make sure to tune into our episode this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see us interview some incredible Broadway guests and to feature our lovely Baroto bone broths.
Thank you, Baroto Broth. Hi, everyone. My name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troupe Online.
Guys, this is our 25th episode. We are so excited. So for those of you who have never been on Soup Troupe before, welcome. We are so excited to have you. So Soup Troupe started at Frenchwood's Festival for the Performing Arts in the ripe year of 2017, when Danny and I thought that there was not a safe space to talk about soup, in such a dynamic way, taste, texture, viscosity. And so we created this, family, we call it, where we discuss soups. And it grew so big that we decided during the pandemic to, broadcast it live around the world for you all to see at home and to expand our soup family.
We are so happy to invite you to our 25th episode. Danny, can you believe that we have made 25 episodes of Soup Troupe Online?
No. So our first episode was we came up with the idea and planned it and got the guests the night before, and neither of us had ever used StreamYard. We're like, we'll just do it tomorrow. We're not going to do it if it's not tomorrow. And so we did it, and 25. That's insane.
We could not have done it without your help. So thank you so much to all of our fans from over the country and multiple countries in the UK. We are so grateful for you guys.
We have to shout out a couple of specific fans. First of all, thank you to Ellie Perlman, who sent me this lovely Soup Troupe sweatshirt. I'm obsessed with it, and I wear it all the time.
I also have some beautiful Soup Troupe merch. I have these incredible Soup Troupe earrings. How cute. They say Danny's condensed soup. How cute. Gonna shout out Audrey Kowecki for these awesome earrings. I am so grateful. And they're just so adorable. And not only that, I'm bringing back a vintage Soup Troupe piece. From the summer of 2017, I present to you our first ever Soup Troupe merch. Here we have this golden soup bowl. And on the back, we have our beautiful condensed soup from Frenchwood's in 2017. I just thought I had to bring it back for this episode.
Thank you to Victor Legra and the whole team behind that shirt. We have to thank our sponsors. We are so excited to be sponsored and partnered with Brodo Broth Company in New York City. If you are looking for a broth anywhere across the United States, they will be sending you frozen broth to your doorstep. You can find it in Green Bay markets, in Manhattan, and in their multiple locations around the city. They are phenomenal. And we are so excited to represent them here on Soup Troupe Online.
We have to thank our overwhelming support from the Frenchwoods community and all of our incredible, wonderful super guests that we have had the opportunity of interviewing.
Absolutely. We were recently named the Broadway World favorite live stream of 2021. We are so excited and honored for that accomplishment. So thank you guys at Broadway World.
We have been consulting on Eduardo Sanchez's Netflix original on his soup craft services.
And we are rebranding the menu at 5 cents 54 below with their soups. We are Danny and I have been brought in to redefine their soups, and we are also doing a live performance of Soup Troupe Online when it is safe to do that again. So thank you guys so much for all of your support these past 25 episodes. We have done so much, and we cannot wait for another 25.
Danny, before we interview our lovely guests for today, I need to ask you, if you could have a birthday cake made out of any soup, what soup would it be?
That's a great question. And okay, this is a great time to talk about dessert soups, which I don't think we've ever discussed on Soup Troop. I've been looking for a moment to bring it up. There's a bunch of dessert soups that exist in the world, and they're all like gazpacho-esque. They're like cold soups, and they don't have much substance in them. I think there's a strawberry and mint that is coming to mind, and I think that is the soup I would make. Cake.
I just want to put this out there. Danny and I did not discuss this beforehand. Therefore, I am not sure what a dessert soup is. So I respect that. And honestly, I would love to try a dessert soup. That sounds delightful.
So the reason I even know that I was at work and I was talking about Soup Troop, and they were like, "What do you mean what do you mean?" And I was telling them about it, and I was like, "Yeah, we talk about soups, stews, chilies," and my actual boss said dessert soups, and I went, "What?" And then I Googled them. So
it's for sure a real thing. Okay.
Yes, it's a real thing.
Cool. I was going to give a much lamer answer. So
I need to know, what is your 25th Soup Troop cake going to be?
Now I'm just embarrassed. I don't even want. Okay. So immediately when I think birthday cake, I think of like funfetti, right? So like big colors, fun times. Yeah. So like the most colorful soup I could think of is honestly like a chicken noodle soup, because you got the carrots, you got the celery. And right. I think that truly a chicken noodle soup is a soup for all seasons, a soup for all times, a classic soup that I think could really be amazing and delicious for everyone involved. So let's take a slice of that chicken noodle soup.
My heart is warmed, first of all. And second of all, we should share that slice of chicken noodle cake with not only then Mr. Mark Quackenbush. For those of you who don't know, Mark was recently on the national tour of Dear Evan Hansen as the understudies for Jared, Evan, and Connor. We are so excited to welcome. So here is Mr. Mark Quackenbush.
Woo!
Mark!
Hey guys, let's get soupy.
We're so happy to have you here. Welcome to Soup Troop.
I'm so excited to be here.
Amazing. So our first question that we'd like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
My favorite soup memory. Okay, so that's got to be, it's not a chicken noodle soup, but it's more of like a turkey soup. And so every Thanksgiving, obviously you get the turkey and you eat the turkey for dinner. And then there's like 3/4 of that turkey left over that you pick at for like weeks. And so every year after Thanksgiving, like a week after, we'd have this like giant turkey carcass just sitting in the fridge, and we wouldn't know what to do with it. So my dad would like put it in a pot and then just take everything else that we had in our fridge that was like not being used and kind of just make a weird Frankenstein mashup soup. And somehow, despite all odds, it would always be like the most delicious soup ever. So that's like kind of like a soup tradition that my family always has that I remember really well. So that's got to be my favorite soup memory.
I love that. Well, now I want to come to the Quackenbush Thanksgiving. So
you scored an invite, Danny, I promise.
Thank you. So we have to congratulate you on your role in the Dear Evan Hansen tour. It is amazing. I've been proud since you booked it. What is it like to play an understudy and being able to play so many iconic characters at this point? And which is your favorite to play? And if you were getting ready, when we go back into the world and we can do this again, when you're sitting backstage and you get the call that you're going on tonight, what soup is going to help you prepare for your unexpected performance?
Yeah, so, well, just first of all, like playing those 3 roles is kind of like, it's a dream come true. Like ever since that show first came out back in like 2016, 2017, I was like obsessed with it. And I was like, oh, I hope this show is still on Broadway by like 2024 when I'm like out of college so I can audition for it. I didn't think I'd be booking it out of college. So that was just like crazy amazing. I'm grateful for it every day and I can't wait to get back. My favorite of those 3 roles to play, it's so hard because they each mean something so different to me. And I thought it would be Evan because Evan was my dream role for the longest time. But the more time I spent with that show, the more it turned into like Connor being my favorite because he's so different from what I play before. And he's not mean, but he's definitely aggressive, which is like the opposite of who I am. So it's really fun to like explore the pain and like deep emotional trauma of someone who's like so different from me. And he just has like the most fun songs to sing, in my opinion. So when I get that call that it's going to be time for me to go on for the first time. It's going to be scary, and I'm going to need something to calm me down. So that's going to be warm soup plus to like coat the throat. I think maybe like a nice plain broth, a nice bone broth, I think has got to be the way to go. It's classic, it's reliable, and it's not going to clog up the throat. So it's going to be what it has to be.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, wherever you are in the country, you can get a shipment of Brodo broth, bone broth, to your door at whichever theater or hotel you are in.
Holy moly. I might have to take that up.
You might. You just might.
We love some Brodo bone broth. If you ever have an unexpected performance, just take a walk, get some broth in a coffee cup. You never know. So, Mark, being on the national tour, what was it like traveling around the country and sharing this beautiful story with the nation? And if Evan Hansen's cast was replaced, in a theoretical world, if it was replaced with a frozen mold of a soup cast per se, what soup would be the best fit to fix his broken arm?
Well, traveling across the country has been great. I only got to go to about 4 cities before we were shut down, unfortunately, but still, it was like 2 of the best months of my life, and I can't wait to like make the most of it when we get. I'm gonna have such a newfound appreciation for it when we get back. In terms of a soup cast, I think obviously we still have to like take into consideration that the cast has to look like a cast. So we're gonna be going with like a white base soup, and it has to be like a soup that can hold together. So what I'm thinking is like a New England clam chowder. It's white. It's sturdy. You've got the potatoes in there to hold it all together. It makes sense. I feel like you could write Connor on a cast of New England clam chowder. You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. I that was beautiful. I think that was honestly like the perfect answer.
Thank
you.
Wow.
Right. It is sturdy too, because you really don't want to. You don't want to just put like a tomato bisque on your arm.
Like if I had to compare a soup to plaster, it would be clam chowder. And don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. I love clam chowder. I grew up on it, but that's what's going to be on this arm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now is the time of our episode to indulge in our Q&A section for Mark Quackenbush. If you have a question for Mark about soup or not, leave it in the comments below, and we will try to get to as many as we can. This first question comes from Kendall Julia, who says, slip and slide? No, soup and slide. If you were able to replace the water on a slip and slide with soup, which soup would you consider?
That's easy. It's got to be Maryland crab soup, because that reminds me of the summertime back home, and that's what like a slip and slide is all about. It's all about summertime. It's going to be spicy. It might burn a little bit, but that's what half the fun is about.
You heard it here first. Half the fun of summer, according to Mark Quackenbush, is burning.
Sunburns, spice burn.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Maryland crab soup. Final answer. Locking it in.
Lock it in.
This next question comes from Ms. C. Hardgrove, who says, what is your favorite blooper moment performing on stage, and which soups would help you deal with the repercussions?
Now, that is a good question. I haven't actually made my debut in any of the roles yet, unfortunately, but I can talk about my put-in as Evan. Mm-hmm. We were in the middle of Disappear, and, I had a line in a song that I was supposed to sing, and I just forgot to. And we just had to keep going on with it because, like, the show wasn't going to stop. And so I think to deal with those repercussions, I just need to go back to my roots, and a nice bowl of chicken noodle soup would help me cope with it. It's my therapy soup right there.
Absolutely.
Therapy soup? I have to start using that. Sorry, I just trademarked it for Soup Troupe.
As you should.
You'll
I
get some royalties.
to you.
Don't worry.
Yes, included on the copyright.
Oh, thank you.
This next question comes from Alicia Bartosik, who says, so big, so soup. Soup makes you feel better after crying in your mom's lap.
Well, I mean, not to like recycle an answer, but this is a classic therapy soup situation. It's got to be the chicken noodle soup. And plus, if we're talking Evans, he's not a bland guy, but I heard like Matt Kemp back when he was like on, he told, like, you asked him what each character was, and Evan is chicken noodle soup all the way. So yeah. I have to echo his answer again.
Oh.
Therapy soup, Evan Hansen soup, it's chicken noodle every time.
Absolutely. This next one comes from Anna Spenley, who says, good for you? No, good for soup. What soup would follow in Evan's cruel footsteps throughout the musical?
Well, I think someone that follows in Evan's footsteps in the show is definitely Connor. He becomes his conscience. He becomes his, like, the little voice in the back of his head that is urging him to do things, sometimes not always the best things. And if you ask me what like a cool, straight to the point soup is, and especially one that represents Connor, it's going to be a gazpacho. So I think the gazpacho is going to loom over Evan wherever he goes. That's exactly what comes to mind, top of head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys see Mark as Evan, you'll know what he's thinking of, who he's talking to.
The gazpacho is the subtext, and don't forget it. Acting one, gazpacho.
This next question comes from Dara Barinholtz, who says, Marcus, you wouldn't have made it to Dear Evan Hansen audition if you hadn't been for my hospitality. Is this true?
This is true. And I'll tell this little anecdote before I answer this question. So which soup would you use to repay me for the efforts and contribute to the Broadway world? Okay, so the night before the open call in New York that I went to back in like fall of 2018, I was I went up there with Jake Steff, and he was going to the open call the next day too, and I was like, oh, I really want to go to this open call because I'm already in the city, but I don't have anywhere to stay. And so Jake reached out to Dara and was like, could Mark come stay with us? And she was like, Dara, I think about you every day. So sweet.
Oh.
Like, your hospitality, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So to repay you, only the highest of soups will do. And to me, the fanciest, the most rich, indulgent soup is going to be a lobster bisque. And I hope you like lobster bisque. That's what it's only the best for you, Dara.
Wow.
And thank you again.
I remember this happening. It didn't dawn on me until Dara had asked the question that it had happened. So thank you for bringing this memory back.
We got some
Dara does love her lobster. She really does. Once Dara came over my house and we had lobster.
Wow.
Perfect. It all checks out. It's like a little puzzle.
Yeah. Well, our final question of the day is from C. Hargrove, who asks, so we know that you love your therapy soup, trademarked by Danny, but what kind of noodle do you like in your soup? Twisty, egg noodles, rice, or the short, thin ones, or the long, skinny ones?
It's a good question.
Really specific.
Well, my favorite noodle soup specifically has got to come from this like little hole-in-the-wall place in Hell's Kitchen in New York called Tasty Hand-Pulled Noodles 2. I was put onto it by some of the Broadway cast one night after rehearsal. I was like, I don't know where food is in the city. Can you like throw me a shout out? And they were like, there's this place down on 9th Avenue called Tasty Hand-Pulled Noodles. You walk by it, you'll miss it. They use rice noodles and everything, and it's just the most exquisite noodle broth ramen type soup I've ever had. It's gonna be rice noodles. It's what it has to be. It's simple, it's elegant. It smacks every time.
That was beautiful. Well, that's all the time we have today for questions. So, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today on Soup Troupe. We are so grateful that you could be here for our 25th episode.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my dream to be on here ever since you guys have started. So, such an honor. I love you guys both.
We love you. Well, everyone at home, please join us in wishing Mark a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you. Thank you so much.
I'm here for soup.
So Mark Much. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
That was Mark Quackenbush. You simply must follow him on the Instagrams at mark.quackenbush to see all the wonderful things he does, COVID and beyond. We are so happy to have had him on this episode. And Danny, speaking of, we've had quite our fair share of the Dear Evan Hansen Company on this show, but we've never heard that there's a soup restaurant endorsed by the entire cast until right now. So I'm in shock.
I'm offended. At the Soup Troop Dear Evan Hansen reunion episode, we'll have to bring it up.
Right, we will. Right, we will. So thank you, Mark, for that. We really appreciate it. We are so excited to welcome our next guest to Soup Troop. Of course, it is Nick Eibler. You know him from Broadway's The Prom, from Fly at La Jolla Playhouse, and we are so excited to welcome him to our show. So please welcome Mr. Nick Eibler.
Ah!
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Soup Troop. We're so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. So the first question we ask all of our guests, what is your favorite soup memory?
Oh, God. You know what I should have been doing? I should have been thinking about this when I was backstage. So I don't know. I think this qualifies as a soup, and I've been like now questioning like what exactly qualifies as a soup. But whenever I think of SpaghettiOs, I think of my childhood and comfort. And I still find SpaghettiOs satisfying. So I don't know if I have a specific memory, but it's like kid cuisine. It just reminds you of simpler times, and you weren't having to worry about rent, and there wasn't a coronavirus and all those things.
I love that. Nick, you just unlocked a I haven't thought about SpaghettiOs in so long.
Right? And then like Chef Boyardee has like a bunch of other like maybe soup qualifying type meals.
You're so right. I really, again, that you just unlocked a piece of the brain.
You're welcome.
So first of all, congratulations on your podcast, Queer Queries. We are such fans. Can you tell us a bit about what this podcast is for people who have never seen it and how, or listened to it, and how it began? And if you had a soup query, what would that be? What would that entail?
Oh God. So Queer Queries began as in the beginning days of quarantine. I had been wanting to do some kind of queer centered project for a while now. I wanted to do some kind of like immersive theatrical experience. But obviously that couldn't happen because theater was on hold and we kept being groups. And I saw a live stream, an Instagram live stream with Peppermint, who I adore, and Nico Tortella, who they were on Celebrity Drag Race, which was like, I think at the early aughts of quarantine. And they were just like talking about like their experiences on the show and just really all things queer identity. And I was like, I think I want to do some kind of live stream. And then I had a conversation with my good friend Josh Lehman, and he was like, you should do a podcast. And then I was like, great, I'm going to do a podcast. Next thing I know, I've ordered the mic, I've employed someone to do the logo, and I'm spending money. And I'm like, well, I can't back out now. So I ended up just wanting to do some kind of like conversational, discussion-based thing that not only celebrated, but also educated. I know I have a lot of, my parents have a lot of friends that have followed me in my career and are either have queer children or know or just allies and just wanted to learn more. So I wanted to be some kind of vessel to amplify queer stories. Yeah. And oh God, the soup query. Oh God, what does that mean? Like the queerest soup?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, well, since you mentioned dessert soups, I was like, I did not know that was a thing. So I had to go up and look. And I feel like quite a few of these dessert soups are pretty queer. There is a sweet peanut soup. There is a coconut mango sago dessert soup, a sweet pumpkin coconut soup, a snow fungus dessert soup. And yeah, if you just go look up dessert soups, there's plenty of recipes and it's definitely a thing. So I definitely think I'm gonna have to make one of these black gluttonous rice and coconut milk dessert soup. Ooh. So there you go. I think the dessert soup type is very queer, and definitely that like coconut mango sweet pumpkin something or other.
Yeah.
Sounds really, really delicious. I want a dessert soup now.
Does it say any more information about the snow fungus?
I don't know. Where is it? Where did it go?
What does that mean?
Snow fungus. Snow fungus.
Fungus. That sounds.
It literally just disappeared.
disgusting.
Oh, there it is. Snow fungus dessert soup. I think it's called tong. I'm gonna butcher how it's actually pronounced. Tong sui. It's a sweet Chinese style soup made with snow fungus, dried longan, black dates, red dates, lotus seeds, goji berries, and sweetened with rock sugar, and is often served as a light dessert at the end of the meal. And it looks, I don't know if you can see. That's what it looks like.
Oh my god. I don't understand how you made snow fungus sound like delicious.
Yes.
Because
I
now
don't even know what snow fungus is.
we're gonna have to do some research. We'll get back to you on that
We
one.
really are.
That's so interesting. Okay. Anyways.
So, being a swing in the prom, what were your biggest challenges and what were your biggest rewards? And if you were at the prom and the punch bowl was replaced with a soup, what soup would you hope to fill up your cup for a fabulous night of dancing and fun?
Ooh. So being a swing is very, very, very hard. And I think I had an easier job, I feel, than a regular swing because I was a vacation swing. So I knew when I was going on for what tracks. So like I knew I had a week where I was like going on for so-and-so, and then I had a week where I was going on for so-and-so. That doesn't mean that sometimes as a vacation swing, they're like, hey, we have 2 people out and we need you to do a split track with like my good friend, Susie Carroll, who was the, who understudied the female ensemble, or was the swing for the female ensemble. She had to go on and do like multiple split tracks multiple times, and then also moved on to Mean Girls and did a whole bunch of stuff. But what's I think is rewarding is you get to, I like the feeling of being on your toes and doing a different show and seeing it from a different point of view for many different weeks. It's like one week Beth Level's over there, and one week Beth Level's, oh, there she is. And then another time you're like up front dancing with Beth Level and like Brooks Mankus. And you're like, oh my God, the audience is right there and I'm on a Broadway stage, and what is life right now? So that's what I think is exciting. And granted, I think people can be like, I would rather just have the one worried about the one track and be good. And then the soup in the punch bowl. Oh God. I'm thinking about all of these dessert soups now because they're queer and they're fun and I feel like they're festive. I really want to try this like coconut mango or this like pumpkin coconut one. I love pumpkin and I love coconut. So maybe that. I think it's a little, I don't know, it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the time of the episode in which we are going to play a game. And this game, of course, is called Voice That Soup. So we've done some digging, and we know that you do many accents and dialogues and character voices. And so we are going to do a series of soups. And we'd just like you to, you know, embody that soup with a voice. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Do you have any questions? Are you ready?
No, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. And away we soup, tomato soup.
Tomato soup. You know, it's classic, and it's just like, I think it's the most powerful of all the soups. It's the most known. So I feel like it has to have some kind of like not lackadaisical, but like I own everything type voice. I don't know. I don't know why it's Russian. It's not, it's like going into Russian, but it's not even a Russian soup. I just like, when I think Russian, I think like just powerful and just like a strong woman with a fur coat. I don't know. There you go.
Yes! I love it.
French onion soup.
French onion. Oh God. Ma chère mademoiselle, It is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight. No, invite you to relax. Let us pull up a chair, and we are proud to present your dinner. God, I haven't done accents in so long.
We just got a full Lumiere monologue. I love it.
First thing that came to my mind.
Next, we have chicken noodle soup.
All right, now, you know what today is? We are going to have Mom's special chicken noodle soup with a hint of paprika. It is the highlight of a Georgia Thanksgiving down here. I just love me a mom's chicken noodle soup with that hint of paprika.
Absolutely. And our final is butternut squash soup.
Butternut squash soup. I don't know. It's just because it's a fall kind of soup, and when I think fall, what was I watching recently where it was like fall in England? I was watching The Crown, and I think that's why my mind is going to a British accent, and I just feel like a soup is very not pensive, but they ponder and wonder about life a lot, and they're very inquiring. Yeah.
Nick, you crushed that game. Congratulations. You have finished voice that soup. That was
wonderful. That was so stressful. I have not acted in so long, so I'm like, get this skill. Get the rust off. Get the rust off.
That was beautiful.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, now is the time of the episode which we have to introduce our Q&A section. If you have any questions for Nick and Soup or neither of those things, leave them down in the comments below and we'll try to get to as many as we can. I see some rolling in. We have this first one from Dara Barinholtz who says, "Hi Nick, you mentioned an existential crisis you are experiencing that I am too in the grasp of. What is a soup? Is a soup simply the vessel of whatever goodness we decide? Or are there rules and regulations to what the right to be delivered from bowl to spoon to mouth?" What? It's a rabbit hole of soup identity. Who I am to soup, not who is my soup to me. I don't really know what the question is.
I think it's asking, what is a soup?
Yeah.
In your opinion, Mr. Nick.
That's so interesting. I feel like this is one of those questions that like she read behind my subtext, and I'm like, wow, you're seeing into my soul right now. Who am I to my soup? Not what is my soup to me. I'm just a vessel of soup. That's such an interesting thing to like, not just soup, but like food in general, but like the vessel of soup. I'm like going to be thinking about this all day now. I don't know. I'm thinking about a puzzling soup, and I think I'm always puzzled by soups that are not just a broth or like cream, but that always have more things in it, because I'm always not sure. This is interesting. I'm always not sure what to call them and how to qualify them, because I'm like, is it a soup? But like there's noodles in it, and I'm like, is ramen a soup? And I think that's interesting because like I'm very much going through this phase of like, how do I define myself right now? Like I was an actor, but now I'm like not doing a lot of acting and I'm doing a lot of this other stuff. But I still love acting, or do I still love acting? I think I do. But it's just going through this whole existential thing. And I feel like soups that have a lot to them might be asking themselves the same question. Like, what actually am I?
That was beautiful. I think you should write a book on that.
It'll be a chapter in my memoir.
Amazing.
Coming to a Barnes & Noble near you.
What is soup? A memoir.
Yeah.
Perfect. This next question comes from Maeve Reese, who says, "The prom is all about equality. What soup do you think would be very outspoken about gay rights and equality?"
This strawberry mint soup, that was the first soup on the dessert soup list. I'm like, because mint is so strong, and it has that like pride, and then strawberry, like it has that like queer color. Like that pink, I think, is a very queer color, and lavender, I think, is a very queer color. I don't know what soup would be lavender. Maybe something. I think there was like a blackberry soup on there, so that could also be. But I feel like a strawberry mint is just like would be very outspoken for gay rights and queer rights.
Absolutely. Kendall Julia asks, if you had to ask a soup for its hand in a romantic slow dance with you at prom, what soup would you ask?
Oh, a French onion. I feel like a French onion could sweet talk me. Probably I would have no idea what they were saying, but I would be along for the ride because I think a French accent is just like beautiful to listen to.
Yeah.
So
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Adjacently, Ellie Perlman asks, what soup makes you feel like it's time to dance?
Oh.
Did a little dance for you. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, this is so hard. Oh God, I feel like I know all the soups, and then I have to nail it down to one. Ooh, is ramen a soup? Is ramen a soup? Okay, then I think ramen, because there's always so many different flavors in ramen, and it's just so satisfying, and it's just like a big party in your mouth. Yeah, I think ramen, any kind of ramen.
Yeah, I love that. Anna Spenley says, all it takes is you and me and a soup. What soup encouraged you to come out of your shell and be your true self?
I think like butternut squash was the first soup where I was like hesitant. Like I didn't think I was gonna like, and then I did. And I feel like that was one of the first types of food that allowed my taste buds to expand. And I'm not just like limited to like flavors that I got from kid cuisines.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, stunning.
Yeah.
And our final question of the day comes from Sam Vanna, who says, in a twist of strange fate, Trent Oliver's show-stopping Love Thy Neighbor doesn't endear the students to his cause. What soup could he use as a Hail Mary to earn their trust and save the day?
Chicken noodle. I think it's a good bipartisan soup. Chicken noodle is something that like you can appeal to those on the left, you can appeal to those on the right. You can add, depending on who you're with, you can add a little bit like this, add a little bit of that. But I think it's a good middle of the road soup to be like, hey, this is like one of the only things to make because I was a Broadway star and most of my meals were made for me. But in my time at Juilliard, as he would say, I learned how to make a good chicken noodle soup for all my friends. So I hope this will appeal to you, my chicken noodle soup.
That was beautiful. Well, that is all the time we have today for our Q&A section. So thank you so much, Nick, for joining us. This was absolutely lovely, and we couldn't have asked for a more wonderful guest to have on our 25th episode.
Woo! Thank you so much for having me. I had such a fun time.
Of course. Well, everyone at home, please join us in giving Nick Eibler a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you. Thank you so much, Nick.
Bye.
That was Nick Eibler. You simply must follow him on everything he's doing on social media at his handle down below. We are so excited to see everything that he does, pandemic and beyond. And if you have the chance to listen to his podcast, Queer Queries, you simply must do so. It's wonderful. Well, that was all the time we have for Soup today. This has been a wonderful and dream come true 25th episode. If you liked it, you can follow us on Instagram at Soup Troupe Official, like us on Facebook at Soup Troupe Online, and subscribe to us on YouTube by subscribing down below and liking this video.
We are so excited to be named the Broadway World's favorite live stream. You can read more about Soup Troupe Online on BroadwayWorld.com. The link is in the description below.
We have to thank our sponsors at Brodo Broth Company. We are so excited and happy with our relationship, and we can't wait to extend it into the future and beyond.
Now, before we go, we are going to sing an original rendition of Happy Soup Day. Are you ready?
Yes, are you?
1, 2, 3. Happy Soup Day to us. Happy Soup Day to us. Happy Soup Day, dear Soup Troop Online. Happy Soup Day to us.
Yay!
Oh, beautiful, beautiful work. We totally didn't just make that up on the spot. That was completely planned beforehand.
I read the script this morning. Yes.
Anyways, everyone at home, join us in a 1, 2, 3. Have a super day. Thank you so much for all your support, and we hope to see you next week.
See you on 26. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first official day of the Soup Club.
So Soup Club is where we get the soup at lunch and we talk about it. My opinion was that I enjoyed the broth. It was too thin. I didn't get enough of it.
The spice is actually healthy because we're all sweet today. That's no more true. That's why.
I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. 3 I give this a solid 3.75.
Soup Troop is really inclusive, and Soup Troop is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good and also complain about soup when it's bad, because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Danny and Soup Troop! I'm Danny. And I'm Danny. 1, 2, 3. We're here for you!
It's gonna be really hot.
Thank you, Soup Troop.
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 My name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troop Online.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hi! Hi!
What's up?
Hello.
Hi! Hi! Guys, I'm so excited to be on Soup Troop.
Hello!
Hey!
Hey.
It's me!
Hi. Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's me.
Hi!
Happy Soup Year!
Hi!
Hi.
Have